Good evening, everybody. Hi, welcome back to 2024. Hey, I'm glad you're here tonight. What we are going to do tonight is we're going to finish up our 2023 with Soulmate. As we ended 2023, we had a lot of controversy about what a soulmate was and the soulmate itself. We had, a matter of fact, there were a conversation on the board between the lady Cheryl Simmons. She said that she had a soulmate and she lost her soulmate, and now she's looking for another soulmate. And then Felicia Johnson came on board and said that, hey, is a soulmate something? Is it really reality as soulmate? And her thoughts were, is a soulmate something that you find or something you create? And we're going to get into that tonight. But before we get into that, let me tell you what we are. We're Sunday at 9. This is an open discussion on relationships. What we do is take relationships and we talk to them in the form of what a Black lady in the age of somewhere between 30 and 55, what are some of the things that they would have in way of relationship issues and some of the things that we discuss. The format is that you and about 20 of your girlfriends are sitting in your living room and you're just having a great time discussing these things. And these things are said in a safe zone that we're creating. You can just speak your mind. You don't have to worry about nobody saying, hey, what are you talking about? Or that's not us, or that's not me, or that doesn't apply. That's not what we're doing. All we're doing is having a chance to say some things that we wouldn't normally say, and we're getting them out. My name is Rufus Carpenter. My co-host is normally Coach Glenda Driver. She's not with us tonight because she's a little down under the weather. So she sent a message, and look in your chat. She sent you a message in the chat, but she wanted to be here but couldn't. So I'm running solo tonight. So we're gonna get it done. Glenda's a big part of this show and this discussion, so she'll surely be missed, but we're gonna get there anyway. My background is pretty easy. I come into this relationship space a little different than most. My background started I was with a poor family of 14 kids who lived in a one-bedroom house with one bathroom. Can you imagine sharing a bed with 4 of your siblings and then, oh, by the way, have that occasional bedwetter? What I've learned in that relationship, that humble beginning taught me the human connection, what it is to work with a lot of people in a close relationship. So that connection was really strong. Now, I was married for 27 years to the same woman. And if you know anything about being married, anytime through the thick and thin, you actually get to know a little bit about things like commitment. And you learn the things like commitment. You learn how to actually trust. You learn what it is to compromise. And these things really help. It wasn't so much about having a successful marriage. What it was about, the human connection. What are some of the things and the building blocks for having a great relationship with someone? That's what it was there. And lastly, I was in the military, in the United States Army. And in the Army, I was taught as a race relations. I was in a relations arena where I was able to be the intake for all things related to race relation. And I learned and quickly realized in a demanding environment what it was to be human and the complexity of relationships. So that was good. All right, let's get started on the night's subject. The night's subject is soulmate. We had somebody that came in. Where did they go? Are you there? We had a third person. I'm Rufus Carpenter. Who's that? Was that you? Who was the third?
It's Andre.
Hey, Andre, how you doing, sir? Welcome aboard. Welcome.
Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, and I trust you had a beautiful New Year. Now,
I did. Thanks for asking.
Andre, are you on your phone?
I'm sorry, say the question again.
You're on your computer, on your phone or your computer?
I'm on the phone. I'm driving.
Okay, then all right. Yeah, because I was gonna make you my co-host.
I'm sorry.
But that's okay. That's okay. You're good. You're good. What I was saying before you came on board, what I was saying is what we're doing, we're finishing up 2023. We ended up 2023 in a controversy about soulmates. One lady, her name was Cheryl Simmons, had said that soulmates were something that you developed, something that God gives you, and she had a soulmate and she lost a soulmate, so she's looking again. And then a lady by name Felicia Johnson came on board and asked the question, was that really a soulmate? Was something that is reality or something that you work at, or was it a companion like? And that's why we decided to have this conversation tonight. So we asked that you get involved with this conversation. This is going to be a great conversation. I've got 4 questions I'm going to ask somewhere in the middle or the end of this. I got 4 questions I'm going to ask. But before I get into the questions, let's kind of talk about soulmates a little bit. Let's talk about, now first, what is a soulmate? When I say soulmate, I want to say more than just a Hollywood theme that's in a romantic novel or in a movie or just in a theater. I want to get beyond that. I want to get beyond someone just say just a person that I love and we've been together for a long time and we're deep connection. I want to get beyond that because that deep connection and that being with someone for a long time, that could be any kind of relationship. What makes you say you have a soulmate? And you guys, hey, everybody that's on the line, feel free to jump in anytime you want to, because this is a discussion and we want to really get the meat of what a soulmate is. We want your input, because when we finish this tonight, we want everybody to walk away knowing that they know what a soulmate is for themselves, as well as what the group says soulmate. My definition of soulmate is a spiritual connection, someone it's almost like a mystical glue. It's unconditional love. It's someone that you feel, the feeling is there, that you guys can answer each other's sentences. You know what your partner needs. You know how to take care of yourself as well as your partner. You see yourself and your partner as one. There's no difference between them and you. It's not yours and mine. It's ours. It's really a blending. That's the way I see soulmate. What are some of your ideas of what do you see as a soulmate, Angela?
Well, I was wondering, well, spirituality is very important to me, so I'm on point with you with that. But my question is, does it start right out from the onset when you meet them? I mean, you know right off that this is a soulmate because maybe y'all have some similarities or you have a spiritual connection. So how do you really know? That's what I'm just wondering.
Okay, Anthony, answer that, Anthony. Why don't you tackle that for us?
Or is that something you create, you work at? I mean, just right off the bat, coming right out of the gate, you're hoping for that.
Let's let Anthony, can you tackle that for us? Did we lose Anthony?
Andre.
Oh, Andre, I'm sorry. Andre, I apologize, Andre. I'm by myself, so that's why my thoughts are on the board and everything. So a little bit. I'm doing double.
Well, believe it or not, Angela, you was thinking exactly what I was thinking based on what Mr. Carpenter said. I was wondering, I said, well, could it be like formed over time? But then before Mr. Carpenter spoke, in my mind, I thought it was more instantaneous, like natural. But then when Mr. Carpenter gave the definition, I said, well, that made me begin to think like you and wonder the same thing. So I didn't really know how to respond.
Okay.
Well, it may be natural, but starting right out, you got to be observant. You got to your discernment have to be sharp, and you need to put some time in.
Okay.
You know, that's I was leaning more towards creating. Is creative. You work on it and you get there. It doesn't take forever to do it, but you get there.
I think,
But you're talking spontaneous right out of the gate.
Laura,
Yeah,
you on the line? Laura, can you chime in and give us your thoughts before we go any further?
Good afternoon, everyone, or evening, shall I say, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Welcome aboard.
Yes.
I think when you're talking about soulmates, those are people that you meet once in a lifetime. That's the first thing. Second of all,
Okay.
you're complementing each other. It's the yin to your yang. It's being able to move in synchronicity. It's being able to, like you said, Mr. Carpenter, finish each other's sentences. Um, the thought processes are the same. And when you have your soulmate, you guys elevate one another. It's all about walking together down this path and elevating and pushing each other forward in every area. And it's not just, it could be spiritually, most definitely, but educationally, financially. And you feel that wraparound support, because when you're talking about a partner, a lifelong relationship, you're talking about wrap around support in every area. And those things, when you get that soulmate, y'all elevate each other. It's not to say you're not going to clash every now and again, but even after the clash, it's like, okay, babe, listen, I'm not seeing you eye to eye on this, but we're gonna make a decision, we're gonna walk this path together. And it's about give and take. And that's that yin and yang thing going on. That's all I have to say about that now.
Is awesome. That
Very
is awesome. You guys have some great ideas what soulmate is. And matter of fact, do we have any famous couples that we know that we could say are probably soulmates, that we know that everybody would know? So famous couples. Because what comes to my mind right away is Jimmy Carter and his wife who just died. To me, that seemed like soulmates. I mean, do you guys, Gail and Oprah, right? Jimmy Carter. Now, Gail and Oprah is a prime example, and I'm glad Gail and Oprah came up because these are could be just friends. Soulmate don't necessarily happen to be a lover or a love interest. You just got to have love for them. A soulmate, you could be a family member, it could be a friend, or it could be a romantic lover. So make sure you understand that, because that's very, very important, because we tie to people in different ways for different reasons. So I'm glad whoever said Gail and Oprah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So those are some great examples. Jimmy Carter and his wife, Gail and Oprah. Anyone?
Michelle and Obama.
Michelle and Barack.
Yes, and if you read her book, it's laced all through there. Her two books.
Yes, yes. So we have some role models that we can look at as what soulmates are. So that's beautiful. Those are some great stories. Now, let's talk about the difference between a soulmate and a companion. Because when you guys were giving your definition what soulmate was, it came to me, that's kind of close. Is it a soulmate or is it a companion? Because sometimes when you journey this life with a companion, it can be so comfortable and it can be so incredible that it may seem like a soulmate. Who want to expound on that a little bit with me? Who want to work with me on that a little bit?
Well, that's your ultimate goal when you're in a relationship, when two become one. How can you work together except we are in agreement? I mean, I may not like it, but we have to come to a level of compromising.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Now, that's a start. That's a start. So is a companion a soulmate?
I think it's the beginning of one.
Beginning of one? Okay. I'll buy that. I'll buy that.
And the two people determine how far it's going to go, if they're going to take it all the way to what we consider the full-blown soulmate and a love relationship.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's put some components together. To be a soulmate or even be a companion, what are some of the things we got to have? One of the first things come to my mind, you got to be compatible.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things that come to my mind. The next, you got to have like shared values.
Yes.
Because like you said, if you don't agree, and then it's got to be a mutual respect. It's got to be a mutual respect, because that's very, very important. Because in our relationships, women mostly want to be loved, and men want to be respected in relationships. So if it's a man and woman dynamic, that respect and that love has to be there in order for them to make it long term. Because we're talking about long-term relationships now. We're not talking about somebody on and off. We're talking about long-term relationships where both parties are invested, both parties unconditionally love each other. As I look back on my life, I've had soulmates. And I can't say I only had one soulmate. I can say that I'm blessed. I've been a people's person all my life. And I've met some amazing people, and some of that was through the Army, because the Army put me in situations where me and other people had to rely on each other. And when you put your life in someone's hand long enough, and they show themselves true every time, it's easier to get that connection. So when I talk about soulmates and talk about lasting connections and bonds, I'm really talking about not just a love interest, but a love of God, a love of how can I say that? Compassion, camaraderie, and those type of things come to play. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move a little bit long. Let's talk about some challenges of having a soulmate. What are some of the challenges you think right out the gate of having a soulmate? What would some of those challenges be to you? Or what do you think some of those challenges would be?
When it's not a soulmate.
All right, let's go with Laura first. Go ahead, Laura.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead, you got it.
I said when it's not a soulmate and you delude yourself that it is.
Now, nearly 2 out of every 3 Americans feel that there's a soulmate for everybody, that it's real, it's not a fantasy. That's 64% of Americans feel that. So when you go out there looking and it's not a soulmate, and you put all that wrappings and on it, and you give of yourself, and it's not a soulmate, I guess that would be something to withdraw, something that would make you withdraw quickly. Okay, so that's one way of looking at it. What are some of the other challenges and expectations of finding a soulmate?
Well, when one is growing and the other one becomes stagnant or decide, they don't want to. But when you're in a soulmate type relationship, you will grow for the other person. You will grow. He'll grow for you. She'll grow for him, and they'll grow together.
What we call that relationship, we call that self-discovery and personal growth. That's one big thing about being soulmates. When you become soulmates, you both tend to grow. You strengthen each other. You both grow, and you both are actually on an upward journey, and a journey that you both discover who you are as individuals, and you discover who you are as couples, so you continue to grow, and that relationship grows. So well done, Andrew, and well done on that. What are some of the other things? What are some tips? What are some tips you can give me for meeting your potential soulmate? If I was out there looking, and I was out looking for my potential soulmate, what are some tips you would give me? Okay, Andre, look like you. What you give me, Andre? What tips would you give me, Andre?
I would say I think people need to be honest. So like I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday. A girl asked him if he was attracted to her. And so I asked him, I said, well, are you? He says, no. I said, well, I think you need to tell her that. Because I said, because if she changes herself for you and you know you're not attractive to her, then that just creates an unnecessary self-esteem issue for somebody else.
Yes. Now I've got some segments. When I sent this stuff out to people, someone sent me a list of texts about Soulmate. And matter of fact, let me see if I can pull up some of this stuff. Some of this stuff was very interesting. Now I was hoping she'll be on tonight because I was gonna have her share some of that, but she gave me a lot of good stuff. Let me see if I can find it right quick. And I'm sorry I didn't have it queued up because I didn't know I was gonna say it. But since you guys were talking, and you guys seem so good. Let me see if I can find this right quick.
Okay, well, while you're looking for that, let me ask Andre, was that guy in agreement to listen to what you suggested? Because you were right on point with that.
Nope, he was not.
So he was playing games still.
Yes, but he wouldn't acknowledge it as that.
Okay, okay. And that's the type of behavior that women really hate. Just be honest up front, bring it to the table, and let me make a decision on whether or not I want to continue playing along with you. Right.
Exactly.
Give me the respect. Give me what term am I looking for? Respect me by giving me the opportunity to make a choice if I want to waste time with you. Because it's just a waste of time. You know, because that's dishonest.
Now, that seemed like that might be a whole conversation all by itself, because I hear a lot of ladies say that they want to go into a relationship with their eyes open and they don't want the man to make the decision for them. They much rather for the man to be open and honest and tell them and give them the right to make the decision to go that way or not.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I just said
I'm a man, so I'm a victor. And well, wait a minute, I don't know how I'm saying, but I'm on the man's side. But there's times when a man take the road of least resistance, if I said it right. So that may be another discussion.
no. I just want to know what was the outcome. And of course, the guy didn't, take the suggestion from his friend. But at the same time, he's just creating heartache for the young lady to drag her along. He really have no interest in her.
Say no long-term interest.
He's not attracted to her.
And say no long-term interest. Because sometimes men have a short interest and a long interest. So sometimes, because ladies are more long-term. Ladies see the big picture, where men see the moment. Not all men, but some men see the moment. Where ladies see that, they see big picture. What's going to happen next? Where men sometimes deal with what's in front of them. A man say, hey, I'm dealing with what's in front of me. We'll worry about that when we get to it. Where ladies say, we're going to deal with that right now before we go any further. Because I've had ladies that ask me before we even talk, they said, what are your intentions? And I said to myself, wait a minute, we haven't even talked yet. You already asked me what my intentions are. Where the lady, I understand what the lady said. Let us say, hey, before we go any further, let's see where we're headed here. When my mind would be saying, let's go up the road piece first before we decide what it's going to look like. And
I can understand that. I understand that. Okay. But anyway, I guess Andre, the girl wanted to know, maybe she had a self-esteem issue. I don't know.
You want to comment more, Andre, before we move on?
Well, what he said to me was when they first met, he did tell me he told the girl he wanted to get to know her. But he said that on the onset, she said that she wasn't really looking for a relationship. So then she comes back around and says, well, are you attracted to me a few, I guess, weeks in? But then I told him, I said, I think people say that initially because they're scared. And so she probably just said that out of fear. And now that she's realized you wasn't what she thought, she wants to try. But now you're playing games And instead of saying, well, okay, let's just do the right thing by this girl and just tell her the truth so that she don't change herself for you, just tell her the truth. You're not interested.
Okay.
And that's very similar to what here's a text the lady sent me, and her name is what's her name? Oh, what's her name? I got a name up the top. Marina. And she said, truly believe that women have changed. They do not nurture their men in their lives, but yet they want. I believe a woman should be a man's best friend, be loyal to him, produce the calmness in him, and understand women have changed, but a woman should make her man feel good. She should cook, make a meal, take care of his clothes. I mean, that's part of a wife, but that's part of a good relationship too. I guess I'm old-fashioned because my happiness and my pleasure to please my man in my life and he'll bring me so much more happiness. The world has changed so much and the divorce rate is nonstop. This is what the lady sent me today when we're talking about soulmate. And I think her thing is that she wants a soulmate, she's looking for a soulmate, and she feels that if she get the right person, she'll give her all in all. And that's what she's telling me. And I told her, I thought she was gonna be on tonight so she could explain it herself because she can explain it a lot better than I can. What are your thoughts about that comment? Regina, we haven't heard from you yet. You're just coming on board for 2024. Happy New Year to you. Give me your comment on what I just read.
Happy New Year. What was I just came in on everything. What's going on?
Okay, you didn't hear it. I'm sorry. We were talking about soulmates and what we did last year. Our last broadcast last year, we had a thing about soulmates, and it got so heated that we had to pull a plug at 10 o'clock. So we said we'll do it again this year. We'll start this year with that. And one lady said that she was married to her soulmate, and they was married for like 30 some years, and he died. So now she's looking for another soulmate. And another lady came on, didn't contradict her or anything like that, but other lady said, what is a soulmate? A soulmate is something that's real, fantasy, or something that you cultivate, or something that God just put in your life naturally. And that's where we pull the plug. And this I
go ahead.
About the ladies, she's saying that women have changed. Women don't want to be women and nurture me anymore. They just want. And this is what this lady just said. That's you up to date.
I think that there is a such thing as soulmates. I really seriously think that people are put here and it's up to the person. Hopefully, some people have to be in tune, I was told. Some people have to be in tune to know who their soulmate is. Like, I think God put us here, and he put us here for, different people. And I was told that if the other person is in tune with you, they will find you.
Okay. You know what? And that's believable. I believe that because God knew what the world gonna be before he even formed it. So your love is out there. Somebody got your name written right across your forehead. You just got hey, you might just have to turn over a few bad rocks and kiss a few frogs before you get to it.
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you.
Richard, can I say something?
Yes, who's that? Go ahead. Come on.
This is Glenda. I believe that soulmates are for real. And when you meet your soulmate, everything just fit. I mean, it's almost as if you finish each other's sentences. The love that you have for each other, the respect, the communication, everything is there for you guys. I mean, it's like, is this for real?
I love that. And you believe, and that's why Hollywood has such a great time with the theme soulmate, because it's so fascinating. All of us want to have a soulmate. We all want somebody to love us with that type of love unconditionally. So that's something that we're always looking for. And you know what? It has to be out there. It has to be out there because God put us here to love one another. And one of the biggest major commandments is love one another. So if that's the case and we're here and we're designed, so it has to be there. But now we got to look at ourselves. What are we doing? What are we doing to block that blessing? What are we doing to either attract or repel that soulmate? What are we doing? You know, first, I think first you got to know thyself first. Sure. Because if you have a soulmate and you don't take care of that soulmate and you destroy that relationship, everybody, they say everybody wants to be loved. I want to be loved, and I'm sure you want to be loved. We all want to be loved. But we all don't want to get hurt along the way trying to be loved. How do you go out there 1 foot out and 1 foot back? You have 1 foot to shield. How do you navigate this thing called romance, relationships? How do you navigate it? And that's the reason why we have this Sunday night, so we can talk about it. You know, guys play games, girls play games. Hey, we all play games. Sometimes we're on the good end, sometimes we're on the bad end. But at the end of the day, we all want to be loved. You know, we're at different ages on this line. You know, some of us are in the twilight years, and some of us are in the middle of that race, and some of us just beginning that race. Myself, I want to finish my race well. To me, my soulmate is someone that's going to help me finish this race in a godly way. Someone that's going to love me, and I'm going to love them. I'm going to love them unconditionally. They love me unconditionally. We're going to grow and go together. That's what I'm looking for. You know, have I found it? God. I'm open for it. My eyes are open. I'm not afraid to take a chance. You know, you have to be vulnerable. You have to open yourself up. You got to put yourself out there. You got to realize something. You're not going to find them sitting in your living room every night. I mean,
unfortunately, a lot of them think they will.
Hey, Happy New Year to you, Glenda.
Happy New Year to you.
Yes.
And to everybody else also.
Yes, thank you. Happy New Year to you. You're absolutely right. You're not going to find them sitting home. So you really have to go ahead and do you. Because the Bible tells us that when a man finds a woman, he finds a good thing. So I don't feel like the woman should be out there looking for a man or her soulmate, but I think she needs to be out there and take a chance on being vulnerable. Do things that you love to do. Go to the theater, go to the movies, go to different functions. Just do you.
That's it.
I call it being seen.
Being what?
You gotta go where you can be seen.
That's it. That's it. We got Annette Atkinson on the line. Annette, share your comments. We haven't heard from you tonight yet. What are some of your thoughts about soulmate?
Oh my goodness, why would you be asking me? I'm just listening. I'm just listening because I have so many different opinions, because I think we go through stages in life. Sometimes I think we're looking for something. A soulmate, I think that's something that's cultivated. I think there's something that we get a relationship where we have to cultivate that. Sometimes I think, and then I do believe what you guys did say. I do believe God has appointed someone for someone. But whether we cross each other's paths or not, I don't know. I don't know if that will ever happen, or it is in the design. But we're so human. We do our own thing. We don't always do God's will. We do what we want to do. We do what we like. We do what feels good to us. So I think the person or people that we end up with are people that we have decided is the person or people for us. And we cultivate that to have a soulmate. I don't think we always will meet our soulmate. Our soulmate, to me, in my mind, is God-given. And I think we seldom find that. That's my view.
Thank you, Annette. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you.
I agree with you. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
Then let's say since we agree with that, what are some of the, if we had to start a boot camp right here on this line tonight and say we're gonna put a boot camp together that we all gonna have soulmates in 2024, that we all gonna have soulmates 2024. And here's the boot camp, and I'm Sergeant Carpenter, Sergeant Rufus Carpenter. I'm the drill sergeant. And here's the drills. Here's the fundamentals of our soulmate boot camp. What are some of the fundamentals we would do? I know the first one would be communication. We'll get everybody to communicate better. We'll get everybody to speak their own truth. You know, if you want to meet somebody just to go out a little bit, say it. If you want to meet somebody long term, say it. And I gotta say this one. I'm a guy, so I gotta say this. If you want a booty call, say it. And don't beat me up, y'all. I just had to get it out there. But
so, in other words, just be honest. Have some integrity about yourself.
That's
with that.
So our first fundamental.
And the person make the decision.
So our first fundamental, the first fundamental is being honest through communication. That's our first fundamental. What? Give me another fundamental. Anybody else got another one?
Deep connection. Deep
connection. Okay, deep connection. But wait a minute, deep connection is result. We ain't got the deep connection yet. That's a good one. But you got, how do you get the deep connection? That just don't happen. You just don't connect deep right out the gate. You gotta do something. I think you're trying to say trust. So I think what you're saying is trust, because if you trust somebody, I think that's a form of deep connection. So we're gonna say you saying trust, okay, Glenda?
Okay.
So you saying trust and trust building. What is something else, guys? Give me some more. What are some more things you got to deal with? What's our boot camp? We get the fundamentals. We got deep connection, but we're gonna call it trust, and we got communication. We got two. Give me some fundamentals, guys. This is a boot camp. Go ahead, Regina.
I was gonna say loyalty, but that kind of go inside with trust.
No, loyalty is a separate one. Loyalty.
Okay.
So we got three. We got three fundamentals. Somebody said honesty. Got honesty. The honesty in the chat. So we got honesty. Give me two more. Give me two more before we go.
Authenticity.
What now?
Authentic.
I think that's perfect. Authentic. One more and we close it out. Then we got enough fundamentals to work on. Go ahead, Regina. Somebody.
Reasonable.
Reasonable. I don't know. That's got me scratching my head. You got to explain that one a little bit. What's reasonable?
Well, sometimes people get irrational. You got to be reasonable sometimes.
Oh, that sounds like compromising.
Yeah.
Compromise.
Mm-hmm.
Got to be a compromise. Okay, that's a good one. So we got them.
If you think the person would be a good fit.
Okay, that's good. So that means wait a minute, think person be a good fit. You can't. Well, give me that. That's got to be some other way. Think a person got to be a good fit. That means you got to be what? You got to be what's that mean? You can't be judgmental.
Right, not judgmental. Some of the same interests.
Okay, can't be judgmental. Okay, got it.
Compatibility.
So we got some good fundamentals. So if we take these fundamentals and work on them through 2024, we should have a great ending in the year. December 2024, we should be standing there. All of us should be hooked up to our soulmate. It shouldn't be nobody on this line that does not have found or got, we don't want to say not soulmate, but so much a companion. You should have a companion or a soulmate by December 2024. Because we know we're working on the fundamentals right now. We know what the fundamentals are. So if we stick to our fundamentals and stick to our training, we should be there. We should be there. Go ahead. Who said something?
Annette,
Okay,
can I say something?
Go ahead, please.
So really, this is my first time really chiming in
Uh-huh.
on this. So I need to get an understanding from what I'm hearing. So it sounds as if this conversation is everyone is searching for someone, wanting someone. Is that the perception?
No, that's not a perception. What this conversation is, we're talking about open relationships. We're talking open discussions about relationships. And what we're saying is that issues that you may have, I may have, issues that Regina may have, or Angela may have, you may have. And what we're doing is we're bringing out every part of what we can talk about a relationship. If you're searching, then use the things that we put out to help you in your search. If you're not searching, then good. Go ahead. The format is, go ahead.
So I get it. So my thing of it is what if you're not searching for love, but just a communal relationship in conversation, or a good partner in just, hey, someone we can hook up with, not sexual, not love, just really being an open. Can you remember, I'm going to take you back. Can you remember in childhood, when you guys, girls on the line or guys on the line, may would have had just an opposite sex friend?
Yes.
Can you remember that type of thing?
I can remember.
So in my mind, I've had opposite sex friends when I was growing up, and it was good. We were just straight up friends, had no inkling of sex in the mind, or taking each other further. We just knew that we were good friends. To me, I'm an older person, maybe not as old as everybody online, but I'm an older person. But to me, that's the relationship I would, if I was going to pursue, that would be what I would be pursuing. Because as far as a sexual thing, I'm not bargaining for that. You know, it's not, that's not the bargaining. That's not what's on the block. First thing is me just finding a straight up mutual soulmate friend. Do you understand that?
I'm glad you mentioned that, Annette, and I'm glad you brought it out because you brought out some good points. But let me share this caveat with you. Even if sex is not involved, either or, wouldn't the same things apply? Wouldn't you want somebody to be honest with you? Wouldn't you want them to communicate? Wouldn't you want them to be trustworthy? Wouldn't you want them to be honest? Wouldn't you want them to value you and talk and value for who you are? Wouldn't that work? As a matter of fact, I think when I had a friend back when I was younger, these things were the things, that's how I learned how to be a friend, through these same characteristics, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that wasn't something I had to search out. That was something that was automatic.
Correct. And
I'm sorry.
What has
Let
happened?
me say this real quick.
Go ahead.
Let me say this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, that was something that was automatic. And when it wasn't there, I automatically knew, or they automatically knew, that we can't be friends. It wasn't no discommunication. That was straight up, we knew. So I think it should be the same today. I'm done.
Anybody else want to comment? Anybody else want to chime in? Go ahead, Regina. Regina first, then you next, Glenda.
I think she's saying she kind of want that old school age bond again. You know how we used to have those genuine bonds back in school?
Right.
You know, your girlfriend and ain't nobody talking about each other. Everybody just there, and we're all like that companionship, and everybody just getting along, and we just had that significant bond. I just remember a lot of schoolgirl friends I had, and it was just different back then. I think she's talking about that genuine feeling that we used to have.
When I was coming up, when I was a teenager, and my granddaddy always told me, he says, it doesn't matter who you go out to eat with, just so as you eat. And he always told me to keep a good friend, not necessarily with sex, but somebody that you could date, somebody that you could go out with, or be your plus one. So I understand what Annette is talking about there, because that is one of the things that I deal with sometimes on a regular basis.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think somewhere over the time, from the time we were kids to time we got a little older and started going out in the world, somewhere somebody muddied the water. Somebody hurt us. We had trauma. Some kind of way we got trauma somewhere, and that trauma made us look at people differently. That trauma made us get more aware and more. I'm not gonna say we had our boundaries. We always should have boundaries, but I think we got our boundaries so far out in front of us that we wouldn't let anybody get close. And a lot of time, the closeness is a fear. It's a fear of getting hurt or getting rejected. Because you notice right now in America, one of the biggest epidemic is loneliness. People are afraid right now. People are afraid, and they off to themselves, and they're lonely, and they don't know how to go back out into the world. So those are some, and that's one of the reasons why we came up with this relationship thing, so we can actually talk about it and get it all out.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah. Go ahead, Glenda. You want to say something?
Yes, I think a lot of people, I'm not going to say a lot, but some people, their problem is that they don't know how to make friends. They don't know how to build relationships. So if you don't know how to build a relationship, it is going to be a big problem when you get out into the world and you get out there meeting people and you don't know how to talk to them.
Yep. And there goes our boot
I
camp.
had a large family, so
That goes our boot camp. That's why we got to get those fundamentals in place. And those fundamentals in place so to make yourself approachable. Because a lot of times we hide behind our fences and we're not approachable. Where really a person would just want to be a friend. It's not always somebody looking to get something from you. Sometimes people just want to go along that journey with you. So that's there. Now we're coming up to we're at 48 minutes. Now our goal is to go somewhere between 30 and 45 minutes. So we're at 48 minutes. So we're about ready to wind this down. So I've got 4 questions I want to ask that I want to ask. Let me ask these questions, and anybody can answer them. Anybody can answer them. And once the questions are answered, we'll wrap it up. Okay, the first question is, what does the concept of soulmate means to you personally, and how has it influenced your relationship decisions? Who want to take that one? Any takers? You may read it again. What does the concept of soulmate mean to you personally, and how has it influenced your relationship decisions? Who want to? We got any takers?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
Soulmates. I was looking for somebody that got me, that get me, that understood me, didn't try to change me, let me be who I was. We both arrived at the same problems together and worked them out as far as the relationship. I have come across one soulmate in my life, and he passed on about 2 months ago. So I know what it is to have somebody that really, really, really love you, but with the circumstances that surrounded us, we didn't get married because of family. So soulmates can be good, and sometimes they can be bad.
Okay. Okay, you finished? That concludes that?
That's it.
And sorry for your loss there, by the way. Anybody want to comment before we go to question number 2? Okay, question number 2. Can you share a personal story or experience that made you consider your understanding of soulmates or the importance of companionship? Once again, can you share a personal story or experience that have made you consider your understanding of soulmates or the importance of companionship? Who want to take that one? Any takers? No takers?
I think I can say something on that.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Annette.
I was going to say, I think I've ran across in my lifetime, I think I ran across my soulmate. But, and the reason I say that is because my mind constantly stayed on this person forever. I ran away from that because it was too settling for me. I wasn't ready for it. I wanted wildness in my life. I wanted adventure. I wanted things that he wasn't offering at that time. He wasn't challenging to my other side. He was too calm. But in my lifetime, I have learned and realized he has and was always forever on my mind and in my heart. And whenever we ran across each other, it was instant. I instantly knew and felt the bond of that, but I always ran from it. So I think there's a timing for things too. So I can say I do believe in the soulmate situation, but there's a timing for it, whether you're able to receive it or not.
Thank you
So
for that.
I don't know if I answered the question.
That answered the question. That answered matter of fact, you made me think about Erykah Badu. We be butterflying. The Erykah Badu song in another lifetime. Okay, good.
Yeah,
thank you for that.
yeah.
Okay, now the next one. How do you balance the idea of finding a soulmate with the practical aspect of dating and building a relationship? Once again, how do you balance the idea of finding a soulmate with the practical aspect of dating and building a relationship? Who want to tackle that one? Anybody? Nobody? Okay, you come on now, you Regina. You know you chomping at the bits now. You chomping at the bits, Regina. You gonna take it, Regina? You read it again?
Read it again.
Okay. How do you balance the idea of finding a soulmate with the practical aspect of dating and building a relationship?
Well, you kind of want to, you don't want to, when you meet somebody, I don't be like, oh man, I'm not looking for a soulmate. You know, I'm not like, oh, is he my soulmate? It's just all about getting along with somebody. If you get along with somebody, you got compassion for somebody, y'all both vibing. It's about the vibe to me. Like I feel like if you both are compatible, why not? You know, and you guys are getting along and it's good. And you know, you gotta wait till that third month because everybody starts to show themselves in 3 months anyway. So if they still that way, they still consistent, keep going.
That's awesome. That's a great answer. I knew you knew that one. That's a great answer. Thank you, by the way. Last question. What advice would you give to a younger Black woman about the journey of finding a soulmate based on your own insight? Here's the question once again. Okay, what advice would you give a younger Black woman about the journey of finding a soulmate based on your own experiences and insight? That's a great question. Who can get that one? That's a great one.
I was just going to say, I think that they should be patient. Just be patient.
Just be patient. Okay.
I disagree because I know somebody. I have been trying to get married for 20 years now, and I've said the 22s and 23-year-olds get married. If you think you found that person, get married because there is nothing else out here, and you don't want to be shedding your body and giving your body to all these different souls because you got to think about it. When you're having sex with people, you're exchanging souls with people. So you're picking up all types of different personalities, body fluids,
spirits, and everything because the male makes a deposit.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I disagree with you. Do it quickly. I do think you need to be patient. But
Okay.
I really do think you need to be
Who
patient.
want to be old though? Get married. Y'all almost there.
Guys.
Why not be with somebody in 30 and 40 years? Enjoy it. Well, you
I
don't know
think
how long
that
you might got 5, 10 years. You don't know when you older.
Now it's interesting. The millenniums think that there's soulmate for everybody. 84% of millenniums think that there's a soulmate for everybody. So they believe that the person's out there. I don't know if they all believe in marriage, but they believe in that companionship and soulmate. So they believe it. So they may not be marrying, but they living together or doing something.
Right, they're together, and I see a lot of 20-something-year-olds together too. It's like when I look at them, I see marriage, or I look at them as if they have like a significant other. Like when they're with the person, they carry themselves like they're married.
Yes,
That's
and
what
that's
I've
what this study
observed.
says.
I
The
would
84%
like
of
to
them believe
say,
that.
I would like to say what she said sounds right, but it isn't, in my view, completely right. I think because they're they're more like what you look at. They're not like really truly into the feelings. They're more or less like trying to make the public that view them think they're so together. I don't think that's really real. I think what these young people or people need to do is stay true to themselves.
Yes.
Process of staying true to themselves, that person, and they mix with the person and it's good, then it's good. But most of them don't stay true to themselves. They give away in order to be with that someone. That's not a good thing.
Oh man.
So I really think what young people, or people, not necessarily old, young people, all need to stay true to yourself in order to have a relationship, and don't try to just care what someone look into your relationship to see. You in the relationship need to know what you're bringing and what's being brought to the table, what's happening, in order to make it work. That's the way I see it.
Awesome. You guys had a great, guys, I hate to bring this to a close, but we've got 3 minutes left and we want to close out. And I wish I could have read all of the chat because we had some great chat going on. But since I'm by myself, I didn't get a chance to read the chats. But I want to thank you for helping us close out. This is the close out of 2023. The night. Okay, now starting next week, we're gonna go into our 2024 season. It's gonna be the same time at 9 o'clock Sunday night, and it's Sunday night at 9. And once again, the format is that you and about 20 of your girlfriends are sitting in someone's living room and having an informal, open conversation about relationships. Nothing's off the table. Nothing's off the table. This is a safe zone where you can share and be yourself and get any questions you want to ask them. Because we're in the answering business here, and we're gonna say it just like it is. So I appreciate you again. Happy New Year to everybody. Next, I will send a text out to everybody that's here. I'll send you a text with the new 2024 series. We had a little controversy. That's why I had to send you guys a last minute text, because I forgot that we were closing out 2023. So that it was a little controversy. And Glenda's sick, so she wasn't able to be here tonight. But I appreciate you guys for being an excellent send off of 2023. You did an awesome job. You guys had some great comments. I myself now know what a soulmate is. You may not know, but I know. You gave me all I need to find a soulmate. So 2024, man, I'm ending up with a soulmate. So you guys, thank you. Anybody got any last words before I cut this off? No last words? Until we meet again next week. See you next week, same place, same time. Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.